Hey everybody out there in the VC, this is Matt. Hope everyone's having a good night. Thought I'd make another video. This is video number 5 in the last 3 days, and this one was unplanned. I got some stuff in the mail at work today though, and thought I would show what I've got. And so, first up, new, being the new Paul McCartney album. Finally got this. Haven't even unwrapped the cellophane yet, so I will do that later on tonight and give it a good listen. I was kind of getting worried there because I ordered this back in like late October, early November, and it finally showed up today. I know that the CD I think came out before the vinyl edition did, back in September, October, whenever that came out, but I had started to see some people getting their vinyl copies on the VC and posting them on the Facebook, so I was wondering where it was, and I'm glad that it's here now. So haven't really listened to it yet, other than when I ordered it they sent a download code, so I did download it onto iTunes and listened to it once. Didn't really give it a thorough listen. I was kind of doing stuff around the house, so I'm looking forward to giving that a full attention listen. And I know I saw me and Mr. Mayo and I think Laura Carr, I believe, who unfortunately doesn't do videos anymore, I don't believe, did reviews of it, and some other people, and everyone had good things to say about it. I didn't really hear any bad reviews on it, so I'm looking forward to this record. And so there's that. The other thing I got, which was also kind of a surprise, I've talked on here numerous times about Numero Records, which is a label out of Chicago that reissues old soul music on kind of little independent local labels that they go around and find and reissue their stuff. It's mainly 60s and 70s soul and funk, though they do other types of music too, some rock and roll, and they reissued all the Shoes albums. I don't know if y'all remember them. They were kind of a power pop band from 78 to 82 era, kind of like same time as the Knack and Cheap Trick and all that. So I mean, they do other stuff, but their main thing is soul music. And if you like soul music, they put out a lot of great no-name soul bands from the 60s and 70s that really good stuff in there. But anyway, they do a yearly subscription, vinyl subscription for albums and singles, and I've signed up for that the last 2 years, and I thought that they had sent everything out for this year, but apparently they hadn't, because out of the blue I got this box today in the mail, and it has 4 45s of people that I've never heard of, but I'm looking forward to hearing them. I just got home from work here a bit ago, so haven't had time to play anything yet. But first one we have is the I guess that's the Damon label, some local label out of somewhere, and this is Bump and the Soul Stompers with Standing on the Outside, backed with I Can Remember. I don't know, we'll find out. The other one, this is Cavern Sound Corporation label, which is out of Independence, Missouri, and this is the Unnatural Funk Band, Living in the Past, backed with Strange Happenings. So another thing I've never heard of. And we got the Mundo Record Corporation label with Master Plan Incorporated, Try It You'll Like It, backed with Master Plan Intro. And last but not least, we have Wiley WSM Production label on South Michigan Avenue in Chicago. This is the Young Souls, Quit Waiting for Tomorrow to Come, backed with Puppet on a String, which I'm thinking that's probably a cover of the, is that I'm Your Puppet song, maybe? I'm not sure, but we'll find out. So I've got a lot of 45s and albums from Numero, and rarely do they go wrong. There's it's a bunch of bands you never heard of, but unfortunately, if they would have had some major label interest back in the day or some radio play, they might have gone somewhere, but because there's some really good stuff, and of course there's some stuff that's just okay and some so-so stuff, but overall their batting average is pretty darn great. So Numero Records. They also in the box included a couple of bubblegum cards for basketball players there. I don't know why but they do that. And here's a postcard, and this is Mickey and the Soul Generation from San Antonio, Texas. So neat little postcard. They stick little doodads in there. So I'm looking forward to playing those 45s. Actually, this being the eve of Christmas Eve, tomorrow and the next day I'm probably going to be playing a lot of Christmas music. But I was thinking just the other day that next weekend, not this week, or maybe this weekend coming up, I guess Christmas in the middle of the week, this weekend it might be kind of fun to just do a 45 only weekend and just play my 45s. So we'll see what these sound like then. Okay, last but not least, I had shown this when I did my Christmas records video, Paul and Paula's Holiday for Teens, and of course y'all know Hey Hey Paula, or Hey Paula, that's their signature song. I was in a record store here in Fort Worth about, back in September or so, and I ran across this and thought that looks like fun, so I picked it up. And it's, it's your typical Christmas songs. There's a couple of things I think they wrote: Holiday Hootenanny, Holiday for Teens, and the Happy Holiday. But I mean, the rest of this is Jingle Bell Rock, Blue Christmas, your songs y'all know. And it's a fun album. I mean, it's nothing stellar, but it's pretty good. But I realized when I picked this up that I know Hey Paula, everyone knows that song, but I didn't really know much of anything about Paul and Paula, and it's not like my life wasn't complete not knowing that. But I went on the internet and looked them up, and I found out that Paul, whose actual name is Ray Hildebrand, Paula's real name is Jill Jackson, but Paul is from Joshua, Texas, which is about 15 miles or so south of Fort Worth, where I reside, and close to Cleburne, Texas, where I work, work for the Cleburne Times-Review newspaper. So he's was born and raised in Joshua, Texas. He lives in Kansas now, but I thought, well, I'm going to try to track him down. So in Joshua, I asked some of the people if they had ever heard of him, and through that I found that his sister still lives in Cleburne, and I got in touch with her, and I got in touch with Ray Hildebrand, or Paul, and talked to him on the phone the other day, Wednesday or Thursday. I got him on the phone, and I'm going to write a story about it for the paper for Sunday after next. Really nice guy, neat guy, but he sent me, he said, well, I'm going to send you a package, because I asked him to email some pictures we could use for the article, because he lives in Kansas. I couldn't really drive up there to take pictures of him for the article. So he said he'd send some pictures, but he sent a package with, I'm not going to show everything, but here's a CD. This is kind of like one of their greatest hits albums. And this one, they made 3 albums when they were still together. Hey Paula hit #1 in February of '63, and they made a couple of regular albums. They made this Christmas album in '64, I believe, and then he left the group, and that was essentially the end of Paul and Paula, though they still kind of get together and do oldies shows nowadays. She lives in California and he lives in Kansas. But anyway, so he sent me this, and that was really cool. He also sent me some pictures to use for the article, and a couple of them he sent me extras, but a couple of them he actually signed, which, I mean, it's not, it was really nice of him. I thought he was a really nice guy. So here is Paul and Paula, 1963 or so, and here's a more recent picture of them, and so that's signed, and that's pretty neat. But what I really liked was this other picture that he sent was when Paul and Paula hit #1 in America in '63, they also topped the chart in Japan, and they also topped the chart in a lot of European countries. So they went out on tour, mainly on those Dick Clark kind of package tours, and among other places, they went to England and in '63, and while they were there, they were sent over to the BBC radio station to do an interview or probably sing "Hey Paula" live on the air. Well, when they were there at the BBC, they happened to run into this kind of obscure British group you probably never heard of. So I thought that was pretty cool. And no, it's not signed by the Beatles. It's signed by Paul, but still. Um, so there's Paul, there's Paula, and there's Paul, but the other Paul, and this character over here, and I've got his name, but I can't remember it off the top of my head right now. But he is a British comedian back in the day. So anyway, there's Paul and Paula with the Beatles, and they said that at that point the Beatles had not been. This was '63, so they weren't known in America yet, but they knew Paul and Paula, who had a #1 song, so they actually asked them for autographs, according to Ray Hildebrand. So I thought that was neat. That was nice of him to sign a couple of pictures and send them my way, and he was a really nice guy to talk to. And so that's what I got. Haven't listened to any of those records yet, but there you go, and hope you all are having a Merry Christmas Eve. That's right. Anyway, see you later.